People are saved. People are restored. People are blessed.
Jesus said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. Are you lonely? Looking for the answer? Join us daily at 6 p.m. only on MyTV.
That the pastor should rise to a level to become a strong man and a servant of God. Amen. Hallelujah.
And welcome to the Family Table Talk on every Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. We would like to greet all of you. I believe it's Saturday. For most of us, it's supposed to be a lazy Saturday. It's not a day to work, not a day to be going out to do anything at all, but other than market and also preparing yourself for Sunday. Well, I'm the same. And this morning, I don't really look forward to wake up in the morning, but there are certain things that you cannot avoid. And I would like to greet you if you're one of those people that are actually forced to stand up because there's work to be done. So we would like to welcome you this morning. And also to those of you that are logging in outside Fiji, thank you for joining us. To all the countries that usually join us, from Europe, from America, we have New Zealand, Australia, Vanuatu, California. There's quite a high number of viewers always from California. So we would like to welcome you this morning. And I believe your time difference with us, it's your afternoon for most and your evening out there in Europe. So we would like to greet you as well, to Cyprus, and not forgetting Northern Ireland as well. So Bula Vinaka, and thank you for joining us. And also, if you get to hear this program on the Radio Bula Duavata, San Francisco, I believe you get to hear that because we always organize the replay of the Family Table Talk on that network. And it's interesting because that radio, you can log in from anywhere in the world, and you can also watch and hear. So thank you for joining us this morning.
Wambula tukani weekend na sarsara tumai na vi korbo gaviti
Bula Vinaka.
na matakani kuwa lestu ba mai tite se ngai barola ko tunai tite do tu na kurura se bakalolo
Topai.
se topai se fakalate se tabe kana tabuta kina matakani kuwa sa wambula tukani asa samola weekend do mai loi dake loi loma mai la kemba batake kono balabu vivia ni Bula Vinaka loma viti na bi anu todoko kena bi koro ingau batiki na rai o balau motoriki patake na ngani sini mule da bikina bi kena tigona abi koro lele weso kenda dauna makatu mai na program binango balimbula bali bibesu kabatala kena bi hotela ni sata tartu kani kina no walesi bula tukani el mataka ni sigandindai kali muna ba ni binaka na nonda sa matumai pe mama ni vitu na be singa bogarawai Family Table Talk we talo taksana kina nonda mula ba matabu bale kanda do durma tu na be singa nonda volleyball na kanda kania nonda mamaroi bula ba biwatini bula ba tamani bula ba tinani bula raramba kana vitala noa ena mataka ba ongo Family Table Talk and nabi mama ni bitu. Pagkamula tu kanina nabi bono eso New Zealand, Australia, kapagkatala kina nabi yan na Pasifika sa pagkamula tu kani and matakani si kaninday. Ika na warong tumay Vanuatu o klan ni duru matiko na bidara ruan na dangilang baru witarabi sa mole mayo jidu o Judy o Kevin sa ngay bibitu ko maingori iya ki mami kalunga tawali bibiti ni pakatala tiki mami tiko Hawa bula tu gani, kemdo mai Solomoni, Tonga, Samoa, tu ku Marcela, bika muni mai rutu muni binaka, no muni indo siapa tu mai, ena programo binakango. Ando ni tu na ando ngana workshop ni leaders i Southern Cross go isuba, mani kero bagi tapi tu gani na Southern Cross hotel, ena matakan di sini dai. Do mai mbua takau ni sa Bula Vinaka kena wi yan pelo
Not only on health traffic light meal plan that I shared with us last week. And it's like that traffic light meal plan, just a quick summation and overview.
Yeah. Because men, they don't want to listen.
Yeah, men love food, and men are men. So they'll always find a reason to justify that they're always right. No red meat. You'll always come home in a warm. So that is like the point that we want to raise. Look at life in a holistic way. Like say I'm turning 50. How old am I going to be? 61. I'm turning 57 in May this year. And I have my grandchildren and I have my children. So for me, the way I look at life is how many more years, or how can I push myself, or what is the year that I look forward to, knowing that this grandchild of mine will reach this age. So every time as we talk during devotion or as we have our own family time, I will be saying to my grandchildren, okay, by this age, I will be this age. And we were using, the same conversation we used to have with my children. And now my children has got children and they have their own families. But when they were small, we talk about the same thing. And we will be saying, okay, when, my eldest daughter is going to be this form, this one is going to be in that form. And then I look at my son, I will be this age. So that means when you have your children, I can, grow up with them. I can be there and still healthy, which we have come across. Well, now I am looking at my grandchildren, I'm saying to myself, okay, if Joshua, who is the eldest of all my grandchildren, is 18, to be 28, meaning if he's going to be 28, it's like he's supposed to graduate, he's supposed to have a job. He's supposed to have a family on his own. And with that 10 years, that makes me 67. So I think that way. And I don't just plan things and make it happen or, like to think, okay, we are good. But as I plan, I work back and check on my life, whether my life is sustainable enough to be alive until that time. And those are the things that we don't think about. Most people, they don't even go there. You're busy planning here for your future. You're investing for your future. You're buying your home. You're buying your car. But for you to look within you and say, will I be healthy and live longer to enjoy that? But the weekend, the terasa ratu ngana vale vinaka, the marrena non de labo, bolena non de motoka, na bayau te kikenda. Non da bola kenda gesta ngin garuna. Nangan da singaru kenda non bola the weekend na mate vaka sauri. So weekend the singani other one na bakini bola ikutubu chikokina. And I was reading through the papers this week, the emphasis on the NCDs. 80% of death is always on NCDs. I mean, that's from the medical research, which means the NCDs and the mate surete, okay, the surete na mate. Kemalay ko ambula vinaka tu ko ngavi kanyaka, elevo na mi matagali kakana, me kombada kina. E ana kena baka madala ori kai weekenda, me rau na nonda kilai. Maka ko ambula vinaka tu ambuli ko me na kalo ko ngambula ko ambula vinaka, ko rere vinaka. Ongai viviaka ko na lewe ni mon go na bika go. Na uro o kana baka Italia, mo maimbada kina. So kaya iko sureta na mate. O abinaka ongai sureta mo tobi mate. So NCDs, those are the diseases, which means some of the diseases, they are reversible. I said to you in the last week, some of the diseases are reversible. I suffered from a disease that is reversible. I wouldn't have known that I have that disease unless I had gone for my medical check. Well, there is another thing, medical check. And then you say to yourself, why should I go and see the doctor? I'm good. Like it's okay. Tapi melera kena bunuan yang dambola vinakatu. Sabalele medelera de chuka bunuan yang dambola vinakatu. No kenda do baka madala. But nangona me ada kena bekenda na tembato. O bilau lumo. Vivutu ni baka vida sanga bul mekoka. Koya ke wala ko nga molere da bunuan mai. So when you're sick and then you realize that you're supposed to see the doctor. But to go to the doctor when you are well, I don't think that works well for it okay for us. And even for those of you living overseas, you may have left our shores, but you're living okay in the land of the living where you are. So the mentality needs to change. We need to change the way that we look at life. If you love your life and you love your family, then you need to do something about your life. Like restrictions. Say, don't eat this, don't eat this. But You could struggle. Babu bi bale. Mesaka me kimro lak vavi watin kendo lak ko o na lak vat ki ko. Ke to lak medical check ko tabe vat ki. Meaning di ba madalo chiko bunuai o ko rongoda, ke ba madalo bunuai au rongoda. Ke baleti ko au rongoda, ke baleti au ko rongoda. Me kero vi buketak. So we can help each other. And sometimes when we are sitting there, mesaka no doctor, no salt. Supposed to have salt on your table. Iko sange kadishkai kar masim mege kama yo na nianda bechuko vatikiko na bunuai kame bitel na mandana bunuai kote via massima sabe que de vir na sipune e vuka na vilete ne ngone ndona kailanga kineviko ona kwa chikongori ko sanga mibukiko ko reditiko na nomrombula membalago and okenda gendando reda na taste se na kai affecta kana kai ndakanya, which means you're just thinking of yourself. So Nambula baka, a healthy living. It's quite a broad subject. We are already, like we don't really want to talk about it, and we avoid it, and we don't like medical checks. So I want to challenge you. I mean, some of you have your medical insurance covered by the work that you are employed with. When we were at the airline, we were covered by insurance, and insurance coverage are different from the normal staff to the middle management to the senior management. The coverage is really, really good, which means you just take your card, you don't even pay for anything. You take your card and you take your whole family. So if you are in that kind of employment, please maximize it, use it. Use it while you still have it, and take your children, take your whole family for that medical check. I mean, it may sound silly when you are well and to go to be checked, but I would like to recommend for you to do that if you can afford it. If you can't, check the kids na health center. Medical check. The doctor said this, and I said, how much did you pay for your medical check? No, nothing. I just line up like a normal public, go and see the doctor, and I got checked. So he didn't pay anything at all. He went to CWM. What I'm trying to, the point that I'm trying to make is that don't have any excuse for you to stop yourself from that medical check. Back to what I was sharing before. I wouldn't have known the disease I have if not for that medical check. I try as much to take my whole family. Not cheap, but na try na busanga bakekwa na kito level. Now ko tikito kina but I'm willing to make that investment to benefit my family, and not only my family, benefit me. So when I went, like what I said, I shared with us, I had fatty liver. I'm not ashamed to share this. I share it to benefit you. We are not perfect. As we share, we try and share as much to help you, help your family, and not for you to, oh, I didn't hear it, or nobody told me. Well, we are telling you now. The choice for you to choose and make it happen, that's your choice. I had fatty liver. But one thing, the doctor told us, Dr. He's our family doctor, Mrs. Valona, that disease, it's reversible. And so what do you mean reversible? And maybe most of us, we have that, we don't even know. Because I don't feel anything. I feel well. I mean, I'm healthy. I feel healthy. I don't usually get sick. But when he mentioned and said, how do you get that kind of disease? How do you get that? For that, it's like from the ferment. Either you or you drink a lot of liquor, or you take a lot of starch. I know you don't drink, which means that minus the liquor, but you may take a lot of starch. And said, I love my rice. Because for me, like I love my rice. I cook my rice when it's boiling hot, and I put it and get the rubber butter to melt at the top, and I put the powdered milk. And sometimes when you hear that, you say, yucky. But I love my rice. I can just cook rice, I love rice. Well, when I hear that changed me. You have to go according to this traffic light meal plan, which means no starch, no rice, no nothing. And but then my mom was diabetic, so I thought eating rice was okay. I managed andalo in Tavioca, but I was holding on to my rice. No rice, no bread, all those things, and no sugar. So I followed that. And within 1 year, we went back for our check, like last week it was. When we went back last week, the check was 100% tally cleared. So some diseases you have, they are reversible, which means you change your lifestyle, it goes away. But some of the diseases, they are not reversible, which means once you invite them and they're stuck with you, you cannot change it. But you can only maintain it. You can only maintain it. And like what I said, I don't take much sugar. But when we go into that detailed kind of medical check, it tells you right to the whatever's wrong with your bones. So my disease or my finding for this medical check, I lack the sun, which means I don't go often to the sun.
D.
I lack vitamin D. So nga nakailangan viyaw mo mangunuvan do na supplement in vitamin D, balita na singa ay lele nang onala ko kina. And that's the only thing, my only finding for this last medical check. And then, like we said last week, when he was going through explaining to him, he had his issues, but as he was explaining, he looked at him and he said, "Oh, it's all clear." He looked at him and he said, "You know, you may be 61, but you're finding, your whatever, because the very detailed, it gives a percentage of your everything.
Organs,
like,
operation, yeah.
Yeah, everything. Everything. And you can't hide it because it's taken out of your blood. And all those things. Then he looked at him and he said, you know, already take on a percentage. When I'm looking at the percentage of everything that you had your medical check on, he says, it's giving me the result of a 45-year-old. So he may be 60. And then yours is late 20s to 30s. But yet, I'm going to be 57 this year. So I did something. I planned. It's not like that I wait for sickness to come and then I say, okay, you know, we go to the doctor. No. And my family, they know that. Every small thing. We go to church, yes. We believe in God, yes. We believe in God. We preach the things of God. But on the other weekend, and the Christians, we hide in there. Oh, don't drink your medicine. You just pray about it. Oh, we pray about it. Don't go to the doctor. That's why Jesus made the doctor, made the teachers to teach us knowledge, and the doctor to check. You can be having a toothache, and you say, pray about it. Take your tooth to the dentist to pull it out. You know, there are certain things. Well, we go to church, yes, but I, for one, once I pray over a person, I will tell them. Come, I pray over you, you're going to go to the doctor. But we cannot live oblivious to the fact that God allowed all these things. Could have, should have. Well, we want to quickly bring that, just to summate it, and then we'll go on to a new topic today. But for health, I will try to pull and be a thorn to you. So every time you will hear, when you're looking at your corned beef, and then you say, okay, I heard that today, like I said, when you were given this traffic light, a meal, we have the green, you can eat any amount, anytime, eat every day. And then the orange, it's like moderate, once in a week. And that's moderate. You could like traffic light, you could like anytime, any go green, you could shoot. But it's an orange, amber, you'll slow down, you will wait. But the kind of red, it's like don't even go there, stop. And that red has got a lot in it. When you read it, it's a lot of things you love to eat. So it's a sacrifice. And then you have that change. Do I eat, enjoy my eating and live shorter? Or do I sacrifice that and live a little bit longer? So okay, I can enjoy my achievement, I can enjoy my family, I can enjoy my life. And then you wake up in the morning, you're not having an illness. So change your meal plan and change your diet. Maybe you raised your hand and said, how do I get hold of that traffic light meal plan? Go to any doctor. I think it's their medical reference. It's somewhere there. I believe every medical center might have it, even the health center. And if you're asking from New Zealand, Australia, so be it. You'll have more access to that. Or even Google it. I think you can find it.
You are what you eat, eh?
Yeah.
Whatever you eat, that's you. Both physically and spiritually, eh? Sometimes we think eating red meat will give you strength because of the animal, eh? They are very powerful. And when you check the animal, what they eat, grass. Eh? I was doing a research on my own. You know, dal, the dal soup, the dal is giving you 14% of protein more than the meat. See? And the dal that you eat, that means the protein is given to you, is more than the meat. And the good thing about the dal or the vegetables, they very have a little side effects.
Yeah.
So as she was saying, most of the time we plan our life, but we don't include us in the plan.
Yeah.
We plan for education, we plan for business, we plan for investment, but we are not planning for us to live right. That's living right.
To enjoy our plan.
And for us to meet everything that we put on paper.
Yeah.
To enjoy the big house, to enjoy the business that we invest in, because we are not part of the plan. As she said, this one thing wrong with us, Christian. We hide behind prayers. No, we have to look after the physical thing that we put into our mouth, that involves our body. As very damaging to our body, then you must reduce the intake, because it's damaging to your body. And for us Christians, we know this is the temple of the Holy Spirit. That means not only alcohol and drugs, but also food.
Yeah.
Not only the food, the type of food, the size of the food, and when you...
The time you eat the food.
All these things, they are contributing factor.
Yeah.
Because sickness come into our body through what we
take
eat.
in, Yeah.
Eat or drink. And then we transfer sickness outside, inside. So we are the one that we take the sickness inside because of the food that we eat.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting when you look after the food that you eat.
Yes.
Especially we don't want to eat vegetables.
Yeah.
But if you go overseas, the European, they love their salad, they love their vegetables. But for us, we love our meat.
Yeah,
we
it's
love
like
our
when
fish.
you eat vegetables, it's like you're eating grass. So kwe kanadha kwe kanadho. Beleta na yabe doya dangutu. Kwe kanadha kwe kanadho. Beleta I'm vegetarian. So it's those kind of reference because we are so used to our food. And you know, it's a good point when you raise on that element on Christians. And that's one thing I see about us, Christians. Because we think that we can just eat like Baba Italia, and you just come and pray.
Just because we go to church,
Yeah.
just because we go to church,
Yes.
and we believe there's a God,
Yeah.
and we can, our discipline is very less.
Yes.
We are not living a disciplined life.
Yeah, we use that element of answered prayers to think that you can live anyhow, but God is going to, heal you. Yeah. So I want to remind you, that doesn't work because God helped those who help themselves. And you need to live right. If the doctor says so, then it is. Well, you may be saying, oh, okay, they know. They're just talking about health this morning. Well, we'll switch code. This morning, yesterday, I was just sitting in the office. These are a few of the people that I've met over the week sort of give me ideas, not only ideas, ever convict me to bring this topic to talk about today. And it's on our relationship. It's husband and wife, relationship. I met up with a friend, and before she never, when we met, and then she was saying, I'm trying to go to New Zealand. But because I know she has about 5 to 6 children. And I said, okay, there's a lot of people who are going, their marriages are not working. And if you're going, make sure you go with your partner. And then I was giving like my counsel. And then she didn't say anything, okay, fine. And then after a month, we met up again. And then she said, I'm really facing a lot of problems. And I said, what's happening? And then she was, she slowly shared her problems. She doesn't say that's a problem. To her, it's like issues. But for me, when I hear it, okay, and I said, okay, when you spoke about going to New Zealand, I didn't really think much about it, but now when you're saying that, so a lot of people, not only as I converse with, and even through the prayer request to the throne room, we have a throne room that prays, like from the morning to the afternoon. And we also have Miracles to Happen program that happens every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where we have a few pastors that are rostered live on TV, and they prayed over people that are calling in for their issues. And we have one of our senior pastor, Osea Rasea, and he submits everything, every call that comes in, and group them to issues. And every time, since we started this program, that's about 3 or 4 years ago, the highest is always family, And that family, you can take it down to relationship. You can take it down to the children, rebellious children. Like there's a lot of elements, but family seems to be the highest, which we would like to talk generally about today. But you know, as I go through that and listen to that friend of mine, and also the prayer requests coming in, not only to the throne room, but coming directly to our office in My TV when they drop their sitting or their activators, and these are non-church members. And like I would like to bring that to this table this morning. Well, it's a family table talk. And because the understanding of relationship, like what we said, we shared it a little bit on how we went to this a conference. It's called a family conference, a family life conference that involves all the churches from all over the world, secular and also religious bodies that met. And a lot of things we learned from there, because when you are going to church, you are oblivious to the fact that you have a life to live. And we do the things we do thinking that it's all right and all okay. Relationship, it takes two. It takes a man and a woman, and the relationship comes in so many ways. It can be you may be still courting because you're a youth, or still a young woman, or young man, or you may have a young family in the terms like you haven't had any children or have one or two children so far, and you have a nuclear family like that, and then you have grown-up children, couples relationship that have grown-up children, and then you have a relationship of family like where we are. Not only we have grown-up children, but we have grandchildren. And not only just grandchildren, we have grown-up grandchildren, which means for some of you, so we can na makumuda sa samba ki lebsar sa rusang bulbadada and doing na nondambula ya may nanraki ni bulay ko tiko kina nang bulay ni maliway au vi nakatumo ko tamay medavit tanlo tak na matak ni ko ambala telev ngona e ba kanda sangantu ni kawita ka bakay ko sa watinga sa kwaya and do talang na kanya the redo tiko na pepasan do na increased numbers of domestic abuse. There's a lot of domestic abuse and even violent. Like the women are being. Some women have died just by that abuse. And when you look back, why or what would make a man do that or go to that extreme? So we can zero into the person himself. It can be the person, the inner self, the anger, cannot manage anger, cannot control anger. Then that becomes a counseling issue. So if they are in church, then they need to know, identify, the issues that they're going through because it's affecting their family. Well, for us, like what I said, we've shared already. We always share. When we met, we come from a totally different extreme background. I come from nuclear family. Not only nuclear family. It's like, it's a weird family, I would say. Weird in the sense if I look from the Ito K setup. Because the Ito K setup, you can get to kilay nay, kilay na, kilay talilay, nalilay, talevo. You can kilay mbu. Balata na nondambula pa Ito K, keda susumay nambulaya. And I'm thinking in nondambula. Yo, vekirao no, sinyo susumay nambulaya. O redetungan ia usenga ni redira semo kilera nanongumbo sinyo redikoya nanongo donga nanongo auntie na tinango kwela kuma dona matuvale 11 in the family. I've only seen one sister or one auntie of mine from that lineage of 11 because she was taken out from the family of 11 galisuko into a small family of 2 boys. So I only know this uncle of mine that she grew up with. But to know everybody, no. So I came with that background. Well, when my father died, we were so close-knit. It's just us. So at home, it's like if you're going to church, that's it, you come back home. If I go to school, I come back home. If they go to work, we come back home. Yeah. It's boring, but that's the way that I was brought up. And then I got married to a family that lives in an extended, way. He grew up in the village. He comes from a big family. And this family, they share everything. And so our backgrounds, they are, extremes. I'm sharing this because you may be in the same situation. That when you come, and now, because you love each other, once your family starts, then all these things begin to come in. The things you never used to consider before, your differences. But they begin to come. And then it's affecting your marriage. And you're reacting and you're reaching out. Yeah. And if you're not careful, it breaks up your marriage because of these totally two different backgrounds you come from.
Because this background was not seen
Yeah.
in the time you were courting.
Yes, because you're so in love, like you see the stars, see the moon. You
So
see
when
everything is
you coming
good.
together,
Yeah.
all this thing is hidden somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, the real you. And then when you come together, you start a family.
Yeah.
And all these things start to come up little by little. The real you. Yeah, the real you, because you cannot hide it anymore.
Because men, they hide well. You know, I see they're laughing. We have our management, they're here on the workshop, so they are all here. Listen to this. And for men, we can nangonela, we can nangonela, ni kemini coaching to ka, ko ni ko rede chunga matano, rede to na kalo kalo, rede kisuna, rede chunga kisuna, tarangi koya, no matu vale, sota manda ke no matu vale, dolava matamu, raya matamu, we ko sa rede babinaka, ke ko sanga ka iyo onange bawa teki. Ke senga wawa lewa wawa.
Yeah, Namuna.
People are saved, people are restored, people are blessed.
Jesus said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. Are you lonely? Looking for the answer? Join us daily at 6 p.m. only on MyTV.
That the pastor should rise to a level to become a strong man and a servant of God. Amen. Hallelujah.
The following program is rated PG.
Bulavinaka and welcome to this episode of Nations Business. On the show tonight, we take a look at the Pacific Ocean Climate Crisis Assessment, where leading researchers from around the region have come together to do an assessment on issues arising from a major collaborative climate change assessment research project led by the University of Canterbury in New Zealand and the University of the South Pacific. This is funded by the New Zealand Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. The project involves 80 researchers from almost 20 universities in New Zealand, Australia, the US, and the Pacific. This is in response to a number of major problems and challenges facing the Pacific region in relation to issues of climate and oceans. This is coming up in the next half hour. For the first time, experts and researchers in climate change in the Pacific have come together from different universities and institutions to provide the intellectual, technical, and professional input into the discussion of climate change in the region, with the hope that the findings will fit into policies in the Pacific in terms of climate responses, mitigation, adaptation, and resilience, and how research can fit directly into strategies of governments, regional organizations, civil society organizations, and those that are engaged in climate issues.
Something happened to our national psyche during and immediately after the devastation of Cyclone T.C. Winston in 2016. And in fact, if you look back, it's already been 7 years, but the remnants of her fury remains with us today, both economically and emotionally. Where disaster preparedness used to be a matter of complacency in the past, T.C. Winston jolted us in all directions and reminded us of the kind of devastation that could be caused by such disasters. In the Pacific, as you all know, we have witnessed varying degrees of the destructive power of natural disasters, eroding coastlines, loss of precious marine life, such as coral bleaching. But it is our people, most of all, especially from our rural communities, who bear the heaviest burden of rebuilding when they lose everything. It is only after coming out of a harrowing experience such as a Category 5 cyclone after the rubble is cleared, when many dear friends of Fiji, such as Australia and New Zealand, arrived immediately after the cyclone to assist in our recovery.